We'll talk about how Bitcoin's price has changed over time in this movie, which points to a possible recovery. Please find attached a chart for your use. We are going to talk about Citi and Ripple's recent announcement, which is a big deal that hasn't gotten much press yet. We will now process the XRP chart, which will take some time. I'll talk about it in the next video if we don't have time, but Mr. Charles Hoskins from Cardano goes on a long rant that you should watch. Now that we have your attention, let's begin. Take it easy and enjoy your Friday. Bitcoin is worth $69,849 right now, which is 3.49% less than it was yesterday. Ethereum, on the other hand, is down 4.33% and is now worth $2,516. Both USDT and USDC are trading at their own dollar pegs. One key price for XRP is 51 cents with a goal of 52 cents. It is up 0.22%. Where do we go from here? The price of Bitcoin looks like it's about to rise again and test the $70,000 mark again. If we can make it, our next goal is $74,000, which we will talk about in a minute or two. The value of all cryptocurrencies on the market is $236,900,000. The last question is how much money from big banks will move into these markets? Are they going to put all of their money into these markets? Is this the last bull market we ever see? Or will they just try things out? You can also see 4 to 7 trillion. After that, each asset's value drops by 90 to 95% until the next bull run around 2029. This is a normal part of a bear market. It's possible that was the last bull run. One of these will be the last turn. This one could be it. It could be the next one. It could be in 2 rounds. There are, however, more chances for wealth too. We're going to blow up. Don't worry about that. The markets won't be stable, though, until the banks start to take part. Listen to what is being said. We ask all of our guests this question in our mini-series, The Future of Networks. In the future, what do you think will happen to digital things? You might be farther away than you think. That is possibly the hardest question out of all of them. You must have brought up the idea of a digital identity. That has to happen, and it has to happen on a very large scale, in my view. In general, I don't know much about digital identification, so I don't know how it works. But because there are so many things going on in the payments ecosystem and tokenization is being thought about, that's one of the biggest issues I don't think the industry as a whole has fixed. It could be because digital identification is a public good, and if one group can solve it, it will have a big positive effect on the ecosystem as a whole. There may not be enough money being put into this area right now. Tokenization won't work until we figure out ID, but I'm not sure if that's a prediction. So you have a single name that, goes through the Know Your Customer KYC checks and other similar things. It doesn't matter if you're on a public or personal blockchain. I believe this will greatly improve the ease of use and clarity for controlled groups to access both private and public blockchain networks. Catherine was the first person to send this information digitally. If you keep your digital assets and digital name in the same wallet, it will be much easier to use financial services. As always, it was great to catch up. It's time for digital identities, people. This is the last thing that will be done. Once this is set up, you'll be able to see everyone. No matter how big an organization or government is, it starts to use cryptocurrency. In what you said that the Bitcoin markets are expected to be bigger than the stock markets. This is what people think will happen. If you don't think ISO 20022 is important, Aaron Nozel suggests that you read the parts below about regulated responsibility white papers. A big part of the whole picture is made up of it. One more is a quick settlement. Wink wink, resolve right away. Even though Quant's Overledger supports RLN interoperability, this doesn't mean that Overledger and XRPL can't work together. Yes, they can, so that everyone knows RLN uses Overledger to make things work together, even if this tweet isn't very well put together. In what way can banks not use cryptocurrency? When I talked about the XRP system in the same tweet, David Schwartz asked, it's a bad message. In other words, he said that greeting notes are important to have. The switch to ISO 20022 is very important for the instant transfer of digital assets and fast contact. This standard allows for quick payments and great messaging. A lot of different ideas will be put forward. At Ripple, the architects have worked on both the XRP ledger and a way to make these assets more liquid, as well as a global answer for the immediate settlement of many assets. Ripple stablecoin will do this very thing. The price of XRP will go up. In a world with 352 different USD stablecoins, tokenized assets, central bank digital currencies, and many other crypto assets, Ripple stablecoin is a way to handle both quick payment and liquidity that is spread out. According to it, structured ISO 20022 messages sent at very high speeds have mostly fixed the problem of how to send financial messages. This story has been talked about a lot. To get an instant settlement, you need to have a quick payment. Implementing ISO 20022 was very important. Because of Swift and this change, everyone has to update their systems to work with DLT, which is why it's so important. Pay attention to what's going on. Remember that it always takes a lot longer than you'd like to deal with banks and the government. When you deal with banks and states, you have to do this, especially when huge amounts of money are at stake.